for that night. Like you might hire the best artist or whatever, spend all that money, but then at the end of the night you're counting and you're like, yo, we're still $20,000 behind. You know, you have to definitely set a goal for yourselves. You know, you start here, but then you have to notice your progression and do something about it. I mean, with us, you know, with our Worldwide Connection team, our focus is to really own our own venue. And the more venues that we own, the more we can dictate, you know, how we want the event to be done, the type of events that we want to throw, and we can really, control the amount of money that's being made. You know, like there's so much attached to it. But yeah,
that's so true. When I started doing after party for Latin Grammys, people always told me that I couldn't do it, and all I did is just went to my first nightclub at Mandalay Bay, and they told me, yeah, sure, you guys can do something. And that was the beginning with my partnership with MGM. So I started in 09, and then I just continued doing after parties for Latin Grammys, and then I was at LAX, I was at another Cap House that was there. I did Bellagio, the bank, and I did all these things on my own with, you know, just limited people. And then in 2000 something, I started doing this idea again, hey, let's just do showcases. And a lot of my friends are man, you're crazy. No one in Vegas is gonna let you do showcases at the casinos. Well, I've been doing them. I've been doing Hard Rock now. Luckily, Hard Rock Cafe was just past year. I did them at the Link Pool. I did them at Mandalay Bay. I just did Rhythm and Riffs over there. I did Eye Candy. I did all these venues that are pretty much impossible, as they told me, but I pulled it off. And now I'm going on this year will be 11 years doing all these parties and stuff. And you know, it's happening. But it's been a struggle, of course. You know, we lost a lot of money when it started. I made zero money in the first couple of shows, but you know, I had to grind and let them see what I do. Now, you know, I just got a call yesterday from Park MGM. Hey, Andy, come on, we need you to do this Latin night for us. I'm all right. So here I am once again. So it's just all about, you know, people understanding, you know, what you do and how good you do stuff, and if they believe in you. You know, that's the biggest thing. I couldn't believe what I did this past year. I did Koi inside Planet Hollywood, and I was like, you know, they're like, no one's gonna, you know, walk all over there after the Grammys. And I'm like, okay. So we did 1,000 people that night.
Yeah, I know Mr. Payne turned down shit.
You know how to bring those people in, but it was great, you know, and that's pretty much just trying to do things, you know, and have people believe in you. That's the key. That's a good key. Love it.
That was good. The only thing I'll add is find your own lane or create it. Create an event or find a genre of music that's underserved here. Or if you're booking talent like I do, like don't try to go after those big artists that are already getting booked in town. Go after an artist that's never played here, right? Like you're bringing value to that artist or bringing it to your city will respond to it way harder. So yeah, just try to do something that's not already here. What I would do, I would look at tour schedules for artists I like, and anytime they would skip Vegas, I would email them immediately, like, why don't you play Vegas rock with me? And they'd be like, okay, we can't do that now, but next time let's talk. And so I just got in touch with a bunch of artists, got in with them on the ground level, and just you bring a ton of value that way. And on both ends, the artist and venue, the city, just look for something that's not already happening here.
Nice, very nice. Yeah, so this is all different perspectives, which is cool. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want it to sound like the way that we went is the right way or whatnot, because we definitely went through those channels as well. And it's just at the end of the day, it's like what you really want to, you know, speaking to what the guy said earlier as far as like an end game. I mean, when we had, I don't know if you guys remember CMXX, but when we got that spot, that was like what we could do there and being in control of everything and not having a specific bar that people had to meet in order to be in our venue. It's just really powerful. It's just different perspectives is basically what I wanted to say. I didn't want to come off like that.
Yeah, definitely feel it. There's many different ways to take it, and actually you learn something from everybody. Everyone has their own experience. And if you guys try to host your own event, you're going to go through learning curves that none of these guys have gone through or myself. One thing is, you know, you're always going to start hosting your events. This way you don't have to actually go and shop yourself. You can actually just book yourself, right? A lot of the times you start off solo with these ideas and you're launching this plan, but eventually you start building out a team. You can't wear all the hats, work the door and the stage and perform. It's impossible. You got to get some volunteers, or you eventually got to start paying people to join the team. What's one position that you find valuable on your event staff? And what is their role, and how does that kind of help execute
Tap the screen,
event?
tap the screen.
So, what's one role that you love on the event team? What's their task, and how does it help out your team?
The talent coordinator, that's the guy. Your talent coordinator is probably the most vital part of your show.
I'm about to do a triple cheese,
Without a quality program,
triple cheese cracker,
you don't get to
deluxe.
see your event goals. You don't get to retain your submission, you know. So
I would say the person who will show up early and stay late.
Love that.
That's who like really wants to be there.
What's their role? Is everything?
Honestly, anyone who really wants to be there, anyone who really
It's gonna be
cares about what
crazy.
you're putting on, you know, you can learn a lot of these jobs on here. And we're just looking for people who are really about it and don't want to talk out early. That goes for anything. So.
It's pretty durable in the mouth.
I usually do everything myself sometimes.
There we go.
But, you know, I got my homeboys, but, you know, I mean, pretty much, you know, this comes out of my mind. So I pretty much just do everything, and I got the homies there, and we take care. I got my wife doing this, and I got my daughter doing that, and then it's like more like a team thing.
Gotcha.
A weird team thing, but, you know, it just gets done. So, I mean, once I go out of my circle, then I got to retrain somebody how I think.
Okay.
And, you know, and that's, you know, for me to go through that takes time, and I do things a certain way, and it's hard to find people who understand, you know.
Definitely. I have a question for Kirk. It's building off the same topic, because I've done events with Kirk since 2016. It is, 2022 now, so we're going on 6 years together. What do you think are like the most important roles to launch an event? And I want you guys to take notes on this, whether that's like a doors person, what are just like 4 or 5 things that come to mind, just so they can start thinking about what different aspects of people they want to bring onto their team.
Yeah, just from like we put on concerts, so someone working the door or at least managing that. I mean, your security or your door people are the first thing that your customers see, right? That is the face of your company, whether you like it or not, or whether that's what you want to control. So someone who can, I guess, handle those stressful situations when someone wishes they were in right now, but certainly not too late. You know, someone can really handle that. It's important. But yeah, besides that, I mean, I find myself doing someone because it's hard to find someone that you trust, but that comes with consistency.
For anybody asking, I ain't ate today. I ain't ate since yesterday. So don't judge me.
Perfect. You guys got anything to chime in on the Tuesday website?
honestly, some of the best people that we've had work with us were our interns, you know? The interns that we would pick up, because these were people that we didn't have to ask. Like, when you don't have to ask somebody to be a part of your team or of your tribe or of your company, they're willing to do whatever it takes. You can really see the passion in them, you know what I mean? And when you ask them to do things, like if we were to go out and be like, hey, you want to intern for Blend, whatever, before they would even find interest in it, it would almost seem like they're doing us a favor. And I don't know, through experience, that seemed to have been the worst possible scenario because they start to blame you for everything, you know, if things don't go their way. But if you find these diamonds in the rough that are able to come through, not just help you, but actually bring more value to your business without asking to be paid just because they're willing to learn, you know? The people that are there, that are working to learn, are some of the most valuable people you ever come across, you know? And honestly, you know, money is always just a byproduct of everything that you do. As long as you're doing what you love, you're in the game. You know?
I'll say this, there's several events that we threw that we broke even or lost money, so all of us literally ordered it now. I don't want to throw out just to
No, they do got beef jerkies. They came fully loaded in the VIP section.
You probably want a stage manager if you guys are having.
See, they got the regular shit over there.
And then we're going to shift the focus right now to this
We in
topic.
VIP.
You would likely either want to be good at promoting yourself, or you're going to want a promotions team to get people through the doors, because the last thing you want is to spend 60 days planning an event and then there's literally 2 people in the crowd. So let's shift over to marketing and promotions. I went to Tuesday Blend on March 1st. I actually DJ'd for them for my first time. And there was probably, a couple hundred people that walked through the door in the entirety. And then during the last performance, the crowd actually went pretty far out for what I consider the headlining act. How did you get those people through the door? Do you guys have a promotions team, promotions plan? How does that whole thing roll out?
I mean, you gotta think it's been going on for like 11 years already, yeah? So we're just so unorthodox. I mean, we never had...
Thank you, baby, but no gifts. Thank you, baby. That was so sweet. No gifts. No gifts on this page. This ain't my regular page, baby. Thank you, so. Bring your ass across the street, too.
Started with Fully Man, blah, 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 whatever. I came here and I just saw a lot of white space as far as like there was a lot of venues that were open and weren't being used. So I just used my parties and use that to kind of like sell whatever else it was that I had. But like I said, there was no marketing budget. I didn't know anybody, and it was just I really just had to package things properly, talk to the most people I could talk to. Going back to what we spoke about earlier, show up to all these events. I figured out what events were going on. I didn't want to step on any toes, and I wanted to work with people. So you obviously got to support first. And the last thing you want to do is like come into somebody else's territory and try to like take over.
Nah, most definitely across the street. It's official, like a whistle. I'm both places.
More like personable way. And to answer your question, I guess it would be like word of mouth. Like, I think still word of mouth is probably still one of the
You
strongest.
guys are like grandfather. That's for you guys. It's like you have a niche crowd, and you got that niche crowd, and you just kill it.
Yeah, I mean, basically, basically,
That's dope.
the same thing with the artists. We have to be consistent. We have to stay consistent, right? The quality of our brand had to continue to grow. But the coolest thing about it is that, you know how it's funny you go to a supermarket and the organic foods are always the most expensive? But actually the organic marketing is always the cheapest. It's free. It's a lot of work. But if you're able, to really continue to grow the relationship, or maintain the relationship with all of your networks, and I guess
This one has little sprinkles. Look at all the sprinkled dinkles.
The city, it's really small. Vegas, it's growing, but it's really, really small. And as long as you get that core community to rock with you, they're always going to bring people. And I guess our niche was the fact that we had an 18 and up event, and this 18 and up event
brother,
also
I'm a homie.
came with people who were ready to perform for their peers. And I think that was the biggest niche too, man. And I think that
It's the same, baby.
care for the people that come to your event and make sure that they're always having fun, they're always taken care of, and you're not like that guy that just says, "Oh, that's my event."
It's a Rice Krispie treat.
For everybody, like, nah, that's not how we get down, And I think that building those organic relationships are super, super valuable for
I'm trying to chew very calmly, so I won't distract the people on the stage. I heard that my lips travel.
Concert promoter, you want to make a connection with the people who are supporting you, whether that's digitally responding to comments or in person. I really appreciate anyone who's helping me, and that means showing up and spending $10 at the bar. Like, that is something I'm looking at. So say thank you. I love to get free tickets out in response. Always give something back and just try to build like a family, and it grows by word. Word of mouth is the strongest marketing.
You don't have to pay. It's just like over here. You just come over. You can join the app as a host, or you can join as a gifter, or you can join as my baby mama. However you want to do it, T-Time.
That was
You gotta be more like him.
Well, once again, it's I just have a niche crowd for some weird reason. I just know how to Eventbrite. I mean, this year I was blessed to do digital billboards. I had the digital billboard right on Planet Hollywood, promoting the after party.
I'm trying to swallow slow. I'm gonna try to swallow slow on this one. Hold on.
You know, it's more of a flex. I see all the digital billboards. It's more of a flex thing. But I don't know. I mean, people just I would say word of mouth. Because a lot of people that showed up there they didn't have an RSVP. They just heard about it and they just went. You know?
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gotta be a cool event.
Like I never heard of this. I never heard of the blend till right now.
What the
But V told me about it when I had a meeting with her. Now I want to go. It just sounds cool, you know.
Definitely unique. So let's talk about that. I'm going to go down the road and ask you a little bit about your specific events. So what is Tuesday Blend and Worldwide Connection? If you don't mind explaining to the crowd so they have an understanding of what your guys' events and business is, and potentially tell us how they can get involved.
Was it just me? But did it sound like somebody farted on the stage?
Okay, I'll do the Tuesday Blend. The Fabulous Tuesday Blend.
I do the era.
Right there in the back, right? Running the cameras. And so they started this back in 1942. No, I'm just kidding. It was, and then when I came in about 10
The
years
trolls are coming in.
The beauty about it for me coming into it was seeing like, yo, I've never seen a party with people performing, but they're performing for their fellow peers, right? And it's not like it's a paper play. And I used to throw the show called the Donkey Exchange, right? The DXC, it's a buy, sell, and trade sneaker event. But then everybody that performed on my stage, I did a paper play, right? Because to us, that was
This is a music conference, you know, just getting the information, knowledge,
nah, bro, we just put them
you
on.
know, about the things that we're doing. Thank you.
Yo, these like I think that they would be a real asset to the party. Not only that, they're gonna bring all their friends. Same thing with the rappers. Same thing with the singers, the dancers, the magicians, like all sorts of people that would come, and it really blossomed. And it's interesting how it's never been
My
done.
bro, he performed tomorrow.
People have tried.
I don't know.
You know, it's missing that sauce. I don't know what it is, man. But it's crazy, and we're so humbled every day to know that no matter what happens, we have
It's a
plans.
music
No matter
conference.
what happens, we have plans. No matter where we go, they're gonna come follow us. You know, and
you know
it's,
who
it's,
he
it's
is?
that built-in core community. The 18 and up factor for us was gigantic. You know. I didn't know your secrets, but it's up. The 18 and up factor.
And this white guy in our section, I don't know.
18 and up factor is a huge factor.
That's huge, bro.
Huge. People just don't get that though.
Because look, these 18 and up kids, you're 18, you go to this party, you're partying.
I ain't saying nothing though.
You're like, oh shit, this is dope. And now you're telling your 17-year-old homies, like, yo, y'all gotta pull up. Yo, I'm about to be 18, I'm about to be 18. They get so excited when they get there, you know what I mean? And in their heads, they've already been in the party before they even got to the party. And once they
That's
get
the
there, it's
stage
already
up there.
guaranteed good time for them. You know, that's the coolest
We're
part.
in the VIP,
And so,
the regular
Tuesday
place
Blend,
over there.
I think is it's a way that we get to stay connected and tapped in with our community. You know, the talent and the artists and the people get a free stage to get on and really like show up and show out. You know, and the vibe is always so cool. We never have fights. Our parties never have fights. There's never scraps. There's never fights. People get hella drunk. You know, like people get hella faded. Everybody is all good vibes with each other, and I think that's a really dope part. And for the DJs that we put on,
Talk about my bro, or talk about
and at the end of the day, we're truly grateful for everybody that does participate in that event.
which one? Poly?
So Tuesday Blend,
Poly, are you done?
they've got dancers. They've got dancer showcase, they've got bands, they've got DJs, and they've got performers, live performers. So it's a little bit of everything.
This nigga said he opened the Poly Molly and Tolly.
Magicians there.
So yeah, he's still
so it's a
doing it.
little bit of everything from a creativity level.
He's still doing it. And guess what his girl's name? Watch this.
I'm sure you fit one of those categories.
What's your girlfriend's
How
name?
can they get involved if they're interested
What's
in
her
the
name?
future?
Barbie.
Follow our social media, DM us, walk up to us, talk to us, you know. Or come to our show. Come to our show, experience it first, see the kind of energy that we bring.
Yeah, he do.
Yeah, we're
He do Poly too.
You guys know where you guys know our social media pages. You can hit up Rizzo. He's somewhere back there too.
Rizzo?
He has all our talent. Otherwise, you know, if any of you guys want to get involved, let us know. You know, granted, we do have a little bit of a waiting list, but if you're dope, if we vet you and you're dope, like
Yep, a DL downloading these nuts in your mouth.
and if you have like a solid following, like bring them on. You know what I mean? Let's run it. Let's have a
Yeah.
good time, you know. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. It's a variety show more than anything else.
And then
Yeah,
for
sure.
Latin Grammy Week, and we'll touch base a little bit on the radio too right after this.
Okay,
For
cool.
Latin Grammy Week showcases, What exactly is that in a nutshell, and how can they get involved if they're in your initiative?
Hey, who in the New Jersey area? If you in New Jersey, let me know.
They submit stuff in there.
I mean,
What we do, we don't just
hold on, wait till Korea later on. I'm just playing.
So with my background and all my friends who are in different parts of work for Universal Latino, Sony Latino, different spectrums of the Latin market, we do a press situation. This year
I'm flying into. I think I'm gonna fly into New York instead. And Korea, me and Korea's we're gonna come to New Jersey together and take care of business.
What they would probably take about 5 years to do. And we give them to them one big bundle. We charge a certain amount, but it's more of a package that we sell to them. But when they leave there, it's
because I look fly on the Versace outfit with the Versace shoes and the Versace drawers to the Versace motherfucking glasses. The only thing I'm missing is my Versace heart.
So
I ain't got me a doctor yet.
Here's all the DJs. Here's all the radio. Here's your radio interview. Here's your TV interviews. Here's all your press. Here's all your magazines. Do it. And if they sit there, and I've seen some artists just sit there and drink all night, and they don't do nothing. And then they're looking at everybody like, wow, I was here, and all these other guys are already here when they left. They're already getting gigs, they're doing this, they're doing that, but the dude just been drinking with his homies. He's the guy who fails. But he's just trying to flex the Vegas thing. And I see these every year. And then they get mad at us. I'm like, yo.
Hey, that's that light-skinned squint. Even though I ain't light-skinned, I think I can pull it off pretty good. Watch this.
It's not my fault, and literally we have to put that in the contract now that this is what you're going to do, and if you don't show up, that's on you, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, we do this, and since I work with radio stations, we have, like this year we brought in a podcast in, and we give them everything that we can give them. And especially the DJ, to me, is one of the most important things in any genre. I used to be the vice president of bump squads in Arizona before it became all the other DJ stuff. And I work with mixshowtools.com out of the Bay, and we do the same thing over there. They come in and then they release a record to about 1,200 DJs, and we get feedback. So everything happens that same week. In 2 days, they do everything. And that's pretty much what we do with Latin Music Week every year.
Cool. So what's the website again? If they want to reach out?
LatinMusicWeek.com.
LatinMusicWeek.com. Thank you very much, Andy.
And then just one thing. This year, I work with Selena's brother, A.B.
Who's Selena?
Everyone knows
Selena.
So me and my cousin, we have the only Selena tribute, and it's going to be the last one that the family is going to let us have. So we are launching it November 5th in Fresno, but we have a couple other dates coming in. So this is the official one that uses the image of Selena, the autograph of Selena, and we bring in a lot of situations
that fuck with Selena.
Complete the event and make it really good for the fans. Like this year, we have the lowrider, the one that pulled the bus in the movie and the bumper fell off.
Yeah.
So we have that lowrider and that guy
who using one of my videos
there. So that's a huge thing for a real Selena fan.
Yeah.
Those are huge things. So we have that, and we have a couple other little things that we're going to be bringing in. But look out for that November 5th in Visalia, California. That's the one of the shows. The tickets go on sale on that one on the 4th.
You got any opening spots for DJs or anything?
That's what every DJ hits me up on that.
I'm not saying it for me.
Somebody do something with
that. Trying to find them opportunities.
Man,
just in case.
Who gonna do my hair?
It's actually Selena's would be nephew, which is AB's son, who is he's a DJ. His name is Principe Q. He's actually DJing it.
Okay.
So that's it.
I had to ask just in case.
It's all good. It's all good.
And so, Kirk, what is the niche of We The Beat? And then for We The Beat and Brooklyn Bowl, if people wanted to send their stuff or get involved in the booking, who could they reach out to? What's the next steps for them?
633. STARRLYFE.
We made a conscious decision to always play live music.
Star like
DJ culture
633.
was taking over, and we love DJs, we love electronic music and dancing, but we just saw kind of an open mission where our crew wanted to go see a competition. So
Only thing is, when you ain't got it done, this shit annoying. And you can't cereal.
Come to We the Beat, go see a live
You know, when you hear it down and get in the bowl, shit trash. They be having milk all on this here. I'm gonna get him. White dude, yep.
I love this about just
Keep
coming
those
to
big
shows
ass
or
events out here.
any event that you want to go work for. If someone calls, emails, or calls me, like,
I'm gonna get the Selena dude.
what shows have
Oh
you been to?
God.
Like, how do you know? If they don't have a good answer, I'm like,
Cause I redone the song called Take My Breath Away. Selena is a sample.
got cool with security, got cool with bartenders,
I want the low rider too.
already, and then we put your arm around you.
So does that go for artists as well? Come hang out.
If we did that Latin market, bro,
Okay.
Bamba Chico, La Bamba.
Network with people. You hear all the time, but it's true. Like, when you meet a talent player in the crowd, you meet other artists.
I get that Latin. Paraquizo, la cachito, burrito, chicho.
Very nice.
Go to the shows that you want to play, go to the venues that you want to play.
Gotta say honey oil.
You know, whatever. Put a face to that,
We got a big Latin song, though. We were signed.
That's great. Yeah, you get booked for them. I love that. And go to the shows that you think fit your brand. Thank you so much for that, Kurt. We have one more thing. They're going to explain Worldwide Connection, and then we're going to wrap it up. Tuesday Blend is a sub-brand under Worldwide Connection. So Anton's going to talk a little bit more about that. Or Tess.
It's about brand.
Worldwide Connection was literally built during the lockdown. We had a spot called the Junction Complex in the Boulevard Mall. We had a back door, so when the mall was closed, just like people in, you know. And Worldwide Connection is basically doing what we do in real life. And no
I'm up here looking like the brat.
Keep in touch with people that we've been building with overseas in Tokyo and Manila. Was to just kind of go the online route. You know, this is when everybody was like doing Twitch and all that shit. And
Yeah,
we basically
you know me, I'm still
suck at YouTube.
ghetto
but
fabulous with it,
YouTube was the
you
only
know.
way that we could,
Just in case they didn't know what type of shades, you know. Just like we do with the New York hat. So just with any type of fit, you know, gotta keep the sticker on that shit.
And basically what we
It ain't
did
real
was-
without the
one of
sticker.
things we did is we did like reviews. You know how people watch like certain videos and they review it or whatever. We did that thing, but we invited fellow artists, and we only had them review whether it was artists from Manila, from Tokyo, anything that was overseas. So that way it kind of like it bridged the gap, and it wasn't like we were just doing this for views. It was actually a precursor to like to collaboration. Basically, that connection is KNXN, and I gotta mention Junction Sound, which Dawson's gonna be speaking soon on it, but Junction Sound is another part of it.
What's up, years?
We dabbled in art, fashion, the events. We just do so much shit, and it's like Worldwide Connection was the only way we could really put things together during the time that nobody could do anything. So right now we're actually still in the works of really trying to push forward and realize the bigger goals. So right now we're working on like a Las Vegas connection, and then obviously there's going to be a Tokyo connection, Manila connection. So let's say it's kind of like a VIP type of like membership type of club, and it's exclusively for creatives. So if you're a creative, like let's say you're a music artist and you go to Tokyo and you're part of the Worldwide Connection, you already be plugged in with like the major guys out there already. So yeah,
I love that. All right, yo, we had a good time talking to y'all today. I appreciate your time. Everybody give a round of applause for our panelists, yo.
Yeah, she's been in love. She's been in love. Like, she loves like 30 days ago. What? When I got old. T-Tum. Go ahead. Bro on network. Bro on network. That's what I like about Bro. He gon' network. You funny. I had a. Yeah. Hey, what's going on with you, man? Capone, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
meet you, Ed. I've heard about you guys. I want to let that one dude minute. Okay. I was like, we'll think about it. Yeah, we're working on like really building.
Yo.
Yeah, that's what I thought you was talking about.
Alright, what's going on, everybody? I'm going to reintroduce myself. I am up next. I got 20 minutes on the microphone before we go to lunch. If everyone that wants to learn this information can take a seat, that'd be very, very nice. And for anybody else not participating, feel free to step outside if you're talking. Alright, first and foremost, how's everybody doing? I know it's a little dark in here. I don't want nobody to be tired or anything. Can we stand up for just 1 second and just stretch before I start talking to you?
Stretch these nuts
I'm so sorry. I'm up here dancing around, so I still got energy. There we go. What's up, Parker?
What's good, y'all? What's going on? All my dream side, Tko Capone. What's going down?
Alright, feel free to take a seat. My name is Leo.
Okay, you got red up in here, red like district.
People know me. Lionel's my name. It's Leo for short. Leo's my DJ name.
You better be born in August.
Hip hop and R&B. I do a lot of flips and edits that are like little bassy sounds, a lot of house remixes.
Okay.
More of a selection type sound. That's my niche or my what I'm kind of known for. On the flip side, I also have an alter ego called El Rich, and that's my hip hop recording artist blend. So I've got Leo and we got El Rich, as you see on the TV. If you want to follow along, it's going to be on there. Let's go to the next slide. Before we go any further, on the next slide. Thank you, sir. I wanted to say thank you. I'm one of the producers of the Spotlight Music Industry Forum. So I truly do mean it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you all for buying tickets and even being here. There's a lot of cool people coming up for the rest of the day, and you're going to learn a lot of knowledge. But staff, thank you. Everyone that sponsored us and made this event happen, thank you. Media and panelists that are all out here, especially the guys that I just talked to, thank you very much. Let's move forward. Okay. Artist as a business. So it was supposed to be me speaking first and then the panel. So it was going to be artist as a business and then creating opportunities, but we switched those around. Just got finished with creating opportunities, and now we're talking about artist as a business. Go ahead and move forward. All right, so I want to explain myself and my story and how I ended up becoming a full-time artist and earning just under $90,000 my first year. I know that Christine just talked about this a little bit, how to build up the funnel. I did this literally last year. So I quit my 9-to-5 job that I hated going to every single day in March of 2021. And now it's March of 2022. So that was 1 year ago from today. I'm basically going to tell you guys everything that I did. Thank you very much. And I hope you take some notes. It's not going to be the same for everybody, but I want to tell you exactly what's in my head, get into your head so you can have ideas of how you can potentially do that as well. But before I do that, I want to tell you a little bit more about myself. So I'm going to split it up into 5 sections, and the first chapter is called My Upbringing. So I am from Las Vegas. It's all right, keep it on that last one. Yeah. The first one is about my upbringing. I am from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Just chilling.
I was born into a broken home. So domestic violence, gambling addiction, alcohol, and drug abuse is pretty much what I had experienced growing up from day one, right?
Okay.
With domestic violence, I can remember as early as 3rd grade is my first experience of my parents fighting. There was knives involved, there were bats involved, there were a lot of cops involved, right? For the abuse, they were abusing each other and they were also abusing drugs. So the drugs of choice at that time for them was, I saw crack cocaine and some methamphetamine.
Okay.
Unfortunately for myself,
He's South Savannah. I'm just playing.
And when I got into my early years, 7th grade, I started to experiment with these drugs myself. It was totally normal for me, and I see it around, so I said, let's give it a shot. By the time I left 7th grade, I tried mushrooms, crack cocaine, methamphetamine, Adderall, Lortab, Xanax, you name it. It was unfortunate, by 8th grade, I got expelled from the school system, left the public school system to an opportunity school called Calvin. Everybody had to wear the same clothes, take their shoes off, empty their pockets, empty their backpacks every time you went in and out. And by 9th grade, I said, screw school overall. I was officially a dropout. Considered truant, straight F's across the board, and I stopped going
It's
to
bright,
bleed.
isn't it? It's bright in the motherfucking here.
That's my upbringing. However, I'm not going to give you a sorrow story because there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So moving on to chapter 2 is the redemption. Going into my sophomore year of high school, I started to meet a couple of people who wanted to help turn my life around. Bring me around some good kids, and then these guys wanted me to try out for the sports team.
So you did crack.
That sports team actually changed my life, and so did the coach that put me on the team. I don't know if you know this or not, but
You did
if you don't
crack,
have the
meth,
grades, you cannot play.
heroin, PCP.
There's limited number of
Molly,
people that
Polly,
get
and
on the
Jolly.
sports team. They sacrifice someone that can play the entire season for me, just so I can
I gotta hear
hang
you.
out at practice afterward versus leaving school to go smoke some weed. What that allowed me to do was actually get my grades up because I eventually wanted to play and show him that his decision of allowing me on the team was worth it. The other thing that I got involved with my sophomore year was choir. And I had made the advanced
Make sure you come to the
choir.
drip aisle. They got us on the banners and
At the same
everything.
time, I picked up my first
Just
copy
come
of,
tiptoe across the street.
Studios. Back then it was called Fruity Loops.
Fruity Loops.
So overall, I think a mix of the music and sports kind of
Better not-
got me
better
back
not look at me
into
again.
my what I considered back into my good self, right? After years of experimentation. I ended up graduating high school with a 3.5 GPA, advanced diploma. Thank you.
Okay.
And I entered my high school talent show my senior year, and I won the senior year talent show by doing an original song. And I consider this my first sold out show because every seat in the entire theater was booked from front to back, left to right.
That's
So
what's up.
18 years old, I consider that my first sold out show.
That's what's up.
Now we're
what's
talking
up.
about scaling up. So moving on to the next chapter of my life, it is college. I never thought I would go to college. In my
Big
life,
y'all fucking roof is not telling the performing now.
Anybody know? You come from a poor family?
Hell yeah, we
We broke. We don't got no money. So what was I thinking? I'm going to go to college. I didn't know how I was going to pay for that. 13 days before you and I
them
were starting,
Capricorns ain't shit.
someone had a conversation to me about FAFSA. F-A-F-S-A.
Armani hit me up about it right now. It's going on.
Gets you student grants, student loans, and
This
scholarships.
is my Discord. This is
I must
Diamond.
have skipped school that day or every day that they talked about that because I had no fucking clue what FAFSA was. 13 days out from the
That's Nate Terry.